Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. So you guys, I'm doing a review of Power, season 2, episode 3. And I really like this episode. This was a good episode, okay? It had me laughing, it had me yelling at the TV a couple of times. So it was pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, we basically started out with Tariq showing up. I don't know how the hell he knew where Tate was gonna be, but he shows up to him where it's basically like you don't see nothing but police everywhere, and Tate is there, and he's with his brother. Apparently, his brother is getting a promotion. He's gonna be working in the DA's office. And at first, the cop is stopping him, like, you don't belong here, right? Because Tariq just looks completely out of place. And he's like, oh no, I'm going to talk to my uncle. And then Tate hurries up and sees him, and he's like, what the hell? So, he's like, excuse me, go ahead, let me talk to my nephew. And he gets over there and he's like, Tariq, what the hell are you doing here? And of course, Tariq is still going hard because he wants his help with getting Yaz out of this damn foster care situation. And he's saying he needs his help with getting someone to speak to him at Child Protective Services. And Tate is pretty much like, listen, I still need you to do what I asked you to do if you want my help. He's like, what do you want me to do for you and what can you do for me? Okay, I'm going to need the quote before the bro. So he was like, you said you know the Westons, right? I need you to get on top of that. And Tarika's like, yeah, Braden is my roommate. And he was like, well, basically, do you know Sweeney? And Tarika's like, that cocksucker. So Tater's now like, okay, enemy of my enemy. He was like, all right, now we getting somewhere. So he was like, I need what belongs to me. And Tarika's like, what's that? And he's like, the Senate seat, basically. I need him out of office so I could get in. And he was like, you help me with this, I help you get your sister. And so, first Tariq is like, how the hell am I supposed to do this? And he was like, come on, I know you'll figure a way out. So Tariq is like, all right, I got you, I'm going to do it. But I need my sister now. So he was like, all right, this is on credit. You know what I mean? You're going to owe me this and interest back. And so Tariq is like, okay, got you. And he's like, all right, I'll call CPS in the morning and make sure they see you. Now get your ass up out of here. In the meantime, Tay brothers all in it looking like, what the hell is going on? He already knows something funny. And of course, he's like, all right, thank you, nephew, love you. And then he's back to the party. Oh, somebody, get me a drink. Where's my drink? And it's like, okay, take whatever. Then we have Monet, like she's reminiscing, right? Looking at the card that Mecca gave her, right? We know she want to give him a shout. In the meantime, Kane pulls up and he's like, where he's at? He's late. Mind you, he gets here about the same time that Kane did, but whatever. We see Tariq coming. We don't know how the hell he got there. He's on foot. And they have the conversation that we kept seeing in the preview where she's like, look, whatever you two had going on, y'all gonna have to go ahead and get past that. Now we're gonna be working together. Kane is the one that has the connect. And I need y'all to, play nice. Whatever beef y'all had, it's not about that no more. Can y'all do this or not? And they both basically saying, yeah, she's telling them they gotta squash this shit right now. Meanwhile, she don't know the mess that them two done had going on together. So of course they trying to play it off, and Tariq talking about something. Oh, you gonna trust him again? And she was like, look, this is for the greater good. This is bigger than all of that. So I need both of y'all to be good and handle your business, like point blank period. And so Kane is on some yes ma'am, and Tariq is pretty much saying he could do it. Then he tells Monet that he needs the money up front, and she's like, are you kidding me? You don't trust me now? He was like, hey, new connect. So she throws him the money and she gets in the car. So now here come Kane dusty behind, telling Tariq, again, oh, you need to make sure, you on top of your game. Did you do that shit? Did you frame the professor yet? And Tariq is still telling him, oh, we good. And so he was like, if everything is not good, I'll come down on you no matter what Monet said. And he was like, look, we in this shit together or whatever. So then Kane is like, yeah, whatever. And he basically gets in the car. And at the end of the day, they both drive away, and Tariq is like, shit, all this shit I do for the family, and they can't even offer me a ride. They leave him walking. And I'm like, yeah, that was a little shady. I don't understand how the hell you got there in the first place, but Tariq seems to be able to get everywhere. Then we get Kane at this party that Mecca is throwing, and this guy has on a blindfold and he's swinging a knife around. At this point, he could basically end up hitting anybody with it. And it's like these people are playing pin the tail on the donkey, but instead of it being, little kids game with the little thing you stick on, he has a knife and there's a whole pig hanging, and then he cuts it or whatever, and the drugs and whatever else, I guess that's supposed to be his birthday gift, is inside of it. And I'm like, ew, that was disgusting. Like, we didn't need that. I don't know what kind of parties y'all be throwing, but okay, he seemed to be very happy with it, and nobody else didn't seem to mind having pig blood all over either. They was grabbing at it. So then he's in the kitchen. Mecca introduces him to him, and he was like, this is the homeboy I was telling you about. And Kane is telling him he knows how to throw a party, like, oh, this is how your parties is. So then the cook is like, yo, well, actually the guy's telling him like, you should have some of this food. He like chef hook him up. So he was asking him like, oh, where do you know Mecca from? He was like, I met him through my boy Guap. Already chef is paying attention. You could tell that this is somebody that has worked with him a long time, that knows a lot of the secrets, knows where the bodies are buried, and it's probably a lot more than a chef, okay? And he's trying to give this guy a hint like, yo, you need to be quiet. As soon as he starts hearing him say, oh, I've been riding with him since Kuwait, he hurries up and calls the girls over. He's trying to keep him busy. He's already giving him that warning, like, you running your mouth too much. And he was like, telling the guy that Mech used to run with his dad or whatever. And then he like, oh, word. So they let the chef calls over the girls. He's like, this is the birthday boy, whatever have you, bringing them both over to the couch. They pouring champagne or whatever it was down their mouths, and the guy's still talking in between because Kane was saying like, yo, Mecca, you don't want to get in on this too and have some girls. So he was like, oh, don't worry about that nigga. He don't even be trying to mess with no girls since he got to New York. He's all hot up over some bitch, and Mecca comes and chokes the hell out of him, puts this boy to sleep. And then he's like, oh, know the difference in talking about business and talking about my business. And again, Kane is just looking. He don't seem to catch the hint. Like, if you seeing somebody choke somebody out like that, is this not a warning to you? Is it also not a warning, mind you, that this person that he's like, oh, he's worried about some bitch, is Kane's damn mama, Monet, okay? And I said in my last video how is Kane gonna feel when he finds out that he knew his mother all this whole time, okay? So then he's like, oh yeah, like I said, don't worry about him. He'll be up in a little bit, puts him to sleep. And he's like, everybody enjoy yourselves, party, have fun, is all love. And Kane in the meantime is looking at the dude, passed out next to him, and then, gets back into the girl. So then we have Payne in the behind, a-hole, detective, Kevin / stalker / just disgusting. I cannot stand this man. I didn't think I could hate anybody more than I hate Tyreek, but he has taken the #1 slot, okay? I need him to go. And he's putting up a picture of Kerry, and now my boy Zeke is on the wall next to her, okay? He trying to railroad Zeke and put this on Zeke and, make it seem like Zeke has some reason to help her or be down with her killing the Jabari or whatever over I don't know what, because he feels like she was sleeping with all of them. And Zeke was doing pretty good, okay? A lot of people was just expecting that Zeke was automatically gonna fumble and tell everything. He was like, yeah, I'm Zeke Cross, I play basketball. He's like, I don't know nothing about nothing. I just declared the draft a couple of days ago, and the guy's trying to act like he don't know nothing about him. Oh, I don't follow basketball that much, and whatever. And then he was just like, what am I doing here? Like, why am I here? I don't know what you want to talk to me about. And he's trying to make small talk with him. And Zeke is like, yeah, I have friends and I have, a girlfriend. Yeah, I like school. Like, what does this have to do with anything? And then he's like, oh, the professor, nah. Of course he's going to say nah because he don't want to get her in trouble. And he's not knowing the full, situation. So he was like, I know her, she's my advisor and stuff like that. But that's about as far as it goes. And so then he's like, oh, well, can you describe your relationship with her? And it's like, she's my advisor, that's it. And he keeps saying, can I get a phone call? I've been here like hours already. Oh, you're not under arrest. And I just wish that when he would have said you're not under arrest, Zeke would have got his behind up and left. But of course, I guess he's not supposed to know that that's something that he could do. He's just trying to, help and not seem like he's not cooperating. But he's like, yo, I didn't do anything. And he was like, oh, if you cooperate, we could just finish up. Finish up with what? I am cooperating. He was like, I need to call my coach. I'm supposed to be at practice right now. They're going to be missing me. I need to call my aunt. He's saying this continuously. And this ass whole daggone cop just still keep playing around. Oh, I need to know what you know about Carrie. And he's just like so hard on for Carrie. I'm like, what the hell is it with you and Carrie? It's really, a bit psycho. And so anyway, we get Kane waking up at Mecca's house. I don't understand what he spent the night at his house for, but okay. I guess he was supposed to be too drunk to leave. And then we get Mecca working out, and he's talking to Kane. And of course, Kane is still complaining about damn Tyreek. He's like, oh, what is it going on between you and him? And, what's his name? Like, oh, if you don't feel you could talk to me. He was like, obviously you don't trust him. And then he's like, you don't trust me either. And if you don't feel like you could talk to me and I'm not somebody you could trust, then you can't work with me, or whatever the case may be. I can't work with people that don't trust me. So then here go Kane. Oh, Tyreek, And he's like, oh, well, maybe I could help you out. And maybe I should look out for him and find a way, because basically Kane is saying that his whole thing with Tyreek is he runs his own little operation. That's the way Monet likes it. She feels like it's not that much problems with him doing it through the course correct or whatever. And it keeps him invisible. And he calls him like the little Urkel guy. And he was like, you don't like that you don't have control. And he's basically like, yeah. So he wants to get this control over Tyreek. And Mecca is saying that he could be the one to help him with that. And so it's like, if you want me to, I could follow him or whatever. And I just thought that whole part was stupid. I just feel like he confides in Mecca too much. He's being a little too trusting and telling him too much stuff up front. Even with him seeing how he deals with so many other things. It's like, this is not giving Kane no type of red flag whatsoever. Nothing in his brain is saying, maybe watch out for this. So then we get Tyreek. He is at the Child Protective Services. Tate does keep his word, does hook up where he could talk to the lady, the worker, about the case. And of course she's saying, oh, she's already in a good home. You wouldn't be able to do this. How you gonna manage college, an apartment, and be able to show that you working and you don't have, no type of criminal record and drug record, and where's the income coming in. She's like, you gonna be able to do all of that on your own. And she was like, oh, how are you gonna do all that on when you couldn't even get the meeting on your own? Like, girl, you doing too much. If he said he could do it, and if he comes in with the proof, then that should be the end of it. At the end of the day, the next of kin would be like more prominent if they're able to handle it over their foster family. So then we get Zeke again. And like, you could tell he's tired. He's over it. He keeps literally repeating the same thing over and over and over. And he was like, you free to go at any time. And he was like, you keep saying that, but you still got me here. And you still, asking me questions. And I still, again, don't understand why he did not get up then. Then he gives him the phone like, oh, yeah, you can make a call, but picks it up again when Zeke is saying, listen, good, I could call my auntie. Oh, you want to call your auntie, basically being sarcastic. He was like, nobody cares if you and Carrie was having sex because both of y'all adults. What's the worst that could happen? That she gets kicked out of school? Nobody's going to go to jail for that, which that is true. But he's like, oh, you would get in trouble for lying in a police investigation or whatever the case may be. At the same time, they go to Carrie, talking about, in class. And Tate is interrupting her like, oh, if you don't mind, can I go ahead and take over this, and interrupts her before she really could even get started. And we have, of course, Tariq coming in late like he always do and sitting at the back. And Tate sounded like he was doing a damn thing for his running for office. He talking about the greater good and counseling student date and all this other stuff. So then Carrie, of course, interrupts him and was like, listen, this is not supposed to be about your voting base right now, or your potential voting base. And then, the students is laughing, and they like, okay, Carrie, yes, get him, because he's not on subject right now. And then one of the other students is like, listen, he does have a point. And then they start arguing back and forth about slavery being promoted and colonizers and, ancestors. And they was like, oh, Bethlehem, and, acknowledge the unity and the moral evolution. And they was like, that sounds like slight justification, And that was basically Lauren. And so Tariq kind of comes in to Lauren's defense in the classroom, or whatever the case may be, and she was definitely feeling that and happy that he did that. She actually thanked him for it afterwards. And so we then had Detective Kevin is still going as Zeke. Okay, at this point, he done held this boy all damn day. He done missed the practice and any damn thing else he had to do. With this man just repeating himself over and over and over. He's throwing out there, oh, what about her and Jabari? What did you know about him? Oh, well, he wasn't my advisor, and as far as I know, they had a relationship years ago. I think it was college or something. And he makes sure to let him know, like, no, they were still messing, together recently. And I think he even was like, oh, me and her had a history. And he's just at this point doing Oprah, like, he had her, she had her, you get her, everybody was getting her type of thing, okay? And, if Zeke was still holding his own, he really was. The only thing was, you can tell that he was getting under his skin once he started saying that she was still sleeping with Jabari too. He was like, oh, did you really think you was the only one? And he's like, oh, well, she's way older than me. And he talking about, well, she was hot and available. He said, I used to work with her, so I know all the different things that she could do. And she's very, very generous, and she enjoys it too. And I'm like, woo, like, oh, he's nasty. And he was like, you know what I mean? And then, Zeke is still like, no, I don't know what you mean. And he was like, come on, we could talk about this, one guy to another. And he was like, this is her style. And Zeke is like, that's not true. And he was like, oh, she's, he not my type. And, he trying to throw everything off that he can. And he was like, oh, well, I know Jabari had wrote about her in her book or something. He was like, damn, you really don't know what's going on, do you? You clueless. He was like, they've been together the last couple of months. I mean, he was just trying to throw this lady under the bus the best way he could. And he was like, she's been just seeing everybody. And Zeke is just over it. He's like, come on, I just want to go home. I don't care who she doing or not doing. Like, let me the hell up out of here. And the thing about it is, Jabari Boo, you could have got up and walked out at any time. And then when the phone is still ringing, he's like, yo, that's my coach. I done missed practice. Can I please call them back? And he's like, oh, that's not your auntie and that's not your coach. Throws the phone down, and it's damn Carrie calling on the phone. Okay, she been calling him over and over and over. So he was like, why is she calling you? Did she tell you to lie for her? Were you at Carrie's apartment when Jabari died? And of course, Zeke is like, no, I was not there. I figured he was going to say no. He's like, no, I wasn't there. And so that was really her only alibi. And that's his alibi too, because right now, it looks like they trying to hang this shit on damn Zeke as well. So Zeke got to watch his behind now. And he was like, no, I had nothing to do with this. I don't know nothing about nothing. I was not at her apartment. Can I go, please? This boy done said, can I go, please, about 100 times already. And the cop's still talking about no, which, of course, we know that's not his damn right to say that. And he was like, oh, I'm going to check this out. In the meantime, an officer come in, and then you can call your aunt. So he basically leaves out, and Zeke is over it, okay? And I'm over his ass, too. I'm so ready for this damn cop to be gone. He's ridiculous at this point. And so then you have Tate and Tariq coming in talking, and he's like, how did the meeting go? And he was like, listen, I need this for my sister right now. Like, she means the world to me. And then Tate was like, that's good to know, and I'm glad you feel that way. That really means something that you saying that. And since you gave me your word, I am going to help you. But you got to help me with Sweeney. You said you got these Weston's friends, and, I know that the family has been friends with him since college. And so we need some dirt on him. He was like, I know he's a closet freak, but I need to be able to prove it. And, basically Tariq is like agreeing with him. And he was like, that's the type of dirt that I need. And so Tariq is like, all right, I got you. I'm working on it. I'll do whatever you need me to do. And of course, Tate is all smiles and happy, like, okay, we got a deal. That's what I'm talking about, brother. You talking my kind of language now. Long as you keep your end, I'll keep my end. And they do a handshake on it. Excuse me. And so then we have Tariq going and, he's basically texting and saying he need to speak ASAP to Bash. And, Lauren, with her whining self, is still complaining, saying that is always a problem. And he was like, I've just been preoccupied with things. And of course he gets a text or something like right in the middle of him saying that. And she was like, oh, you always do. And it's like, yes, chick, he does. He's literally worried about his sister and has business to take care of. Okay. He ain't got time to be chasing behind your behind. All the stuff he just went through with his mama. Like, even if you don't know everything, you know a good amount of it, where you should be able to understand. Obviously he got things going on, but she don't. So then he's speaking to the guy from Stern, the boyfriend or whatever, and he's telling him this, and I need to be able to get this legal paperwork. I need to be able to, prove that I got a job and all of that type of stuff and the income to get my sister back. And he's like, no problem. I'll do that for you. You want to clean this money? It's going to cost you $30,000. And at first Tariq is like, what? But then he's like, you know what? I got to do what I got to do at this point. So, okay. And Bash is telling him, okay, I will have the paperwork and everything ready for you. And, as soon as you have the cash ready. Then we have Tariq meeting up with Kane. Kane is mad that he has Brayden there. Oh, you brung him with you. And then, Tariq is basically like, yeah, I did. And so he was like, damn, man, I thought we, Brayden has said, I thought we got past all of that. Like, why should it still be a problem? We done dealt with each other. And so then he don't even have all the stuff that they wanted. Kane is basically playing games. He's like, you know what? If y'all can't do this, or if y'all mess up or whatever, that's on you. He was like, we could take it back to the streets. And they was like, nah, that's not what we saying. We gonna do what we said we was gonna do. We been doing it, but we don't want to mess with that street shit. We want to, continue to do it this way. So Kane is still being a jack behind. And in the meantime, we got Mecca, spying on them with some damn binoculars, watching the whole time. All of a sudden, Mecca is able to go and tell Kane just like that, oh, yeah, the way to get to Tariq is through his friend Brayden. Brayden, you don't know who he is. He comes from a very rich family, very well off. And him and Tariq been friends for years. So I'm like, okay. Then we have Brayden showing Tariq this master plan he have where, they're going to be able to just scan this code. They used some 3D printer to fix the bricks, and it's different lockers, and people can just put the money in. Take the drugs out and put the money in. And I'm like, this is all cool and cute or whatever, but I have a feeling this is going to backfire on them for several reasons. One, now you got traffic coming in and out where this was a place that was Lauren's place, that was her secret place that only she knew about, that her brother put her on. Now you're exposing a bunch of people to it. How do you expect nobody to see that, okay? And security or whoever not to pick up on it, let alone Lauren herself. Two, how do you determine and guarantee that your money is going to be left there once they're opening up these lockers and taking the money, unless y'all have their information, which now that's going to lead a trace back to y'all if the cops is ever looking into it. Mind you, there's still a murder investigation going on there where we still got the cops on campus because of two different damn murders. And, like I said, security seeing it. Then we see even at one point that when Diana goes there and talks to him, she's coming down and Lauren gets pissed off at seeing her. It would be one thing if this was a spot that Tariq already had, that he had brought Lauren to, and then Lauren may have said like, oh, well, I thought this was a spot you was just showing me, because either way she would have had a damn attitude. But it's not. It's a spot she took you to that was her spot, her secret spot. So obviously that means that's somewhere that she frequently goes, probably when she wants to clear her head or whatever. And the same way she ran into Diana, she's going to more than likely run into other people. So I don't feel like Tariq really worked that part out, and that was as smart as what he think it is. Then we have Diana coming in and asking Monet, like, oh, did your father, did daddy say whatever? And Monet just goes off on her. She was like, I'm tired of y'all asking about, did your father do this and your father do that? You go and visit your father and you deal with him. And she gives her some box or whatever. And Diana at this point looks like, hey, yeah, okay, sure, I'll do it. Like, I'd rather go there any damn way. And she walks out. Then you have Tate coming in to Professor Megram's office like he want to make small talk, talking about some damn I forgot the password for the Wi-Fi. And she was like, man, it's up on your wall. Like, leave me the hell alone. And so he was like, did I do something to offend you, Professor? Because if I did, then I'm sorry. I would love for us to be friends. And Carrie is just like, listen, you ain't do nothing, but you just brung your, raggedy behind up in here. And I don't want to be bothered with you, And like, she didn't say that, but that's what it seemed like she want to say. And she's like, at this point, Detective Whitman, raggedy ass, comes in and interrupts them. And he says, Councilman Tate, can we have a minute? And, here go Tate. Oh, yes, if there's anything I could do, let me know. I'll do anything to help the department. Don't, hesitate to ask. And of course, now his interest is piqued. And he's saying here, listen to the damn wall while they talking. And so Whitman is telling her, oh, I had Zeke all day and all this other crap. And she's like, why? Is he under arrest? He was like, no, but now I know that you two was in on it together when Jabari was murdered. Your alibi's up in smoke, And then she's telling him, you must have confused him. You must have said something or did something. And he was like, did he put you up to killing Jabari or the other way around? He was like, I know he couldn't figure this out on his own. And she telling him, Kevin, this is personal. You trying to pin this on me, okay? But neither me or Zeke had anything to do with Jabari's murder. And he was like, really? Then why lie about your alibi? Or is Zeke lying? And he is just really being, I can't stand him. And she's like, I didn't lie about anything. So he was like, I know the things you could do to men. I know what you about. I know your past. So he was like, listen, I'm not going to arrest her. I got you in handcuffs and prove what you did. And after everything you done. And I'm like, what the hell did she done? Like, what other stuff does he really know about her that he is going this hard? Because it's not added up now with how he's coming and the behavior. So what we've seen of her, like, it's not. I'm sorry. It's just too much. Then we get Diana at the jail with her father, and she seemed like she's so super happy to see him. Like, she's daddy's little girl. He's kind of looking like, okay, what is she doing here? Why is she here, not Monet? But he's still giving her a hug and stuff like that. And they sit down to talk for a minute. She give him the box that Monet sent. And I was surprised because I didn't know if she was going to start telling him some stuff on Monet, or if she was going to say how Kane, took the stuff, like she know he did the whole switch thing. But she didn't mention anything of that. It's just, she could just tell that she just wants him up out of there, and she loves him and he loves her, and he's telling her about family and stuff like that. So that was cute for what it was. And she's all crying and emotional or whatever. And then we got Monet, okay, who we never see smiling up a storm, putting a little smirk on her face and getting cute and going to meet up with Mecca at this restaurant that he bought out, and he's calling her Nene. Okay, so we know that this is like really personal with them two. And she was like, don't call me that. She was like, that's not me, and that's not my mom's house that you knocked over the cans at. I got kids. This is a whole different life. And he was like, yes, and a husband, right? And he was like, in prison, So she was like, what else you think you know? And he was like, I know you run a bar. I know that it's not the way things, used to be. It's been 24 years and not a word. So what the hell you popping up here for now? And I can understand her saying that. 24 years is a long ass time, and all of a sudden somebody come back, So they waiting for the people to get out the way with pouring the drinks and putting the food there. They like, thank you. And then they get into it. And he's telling her, well, it always was me and you. I got roped up. And after I got roped up, it wasn't supposed to go down like that. I finally became the man you said I could be. And I was kind of waiting to come back until then. I didn't want to come with where I was at. And so she was like, wow, you bought the place out, and you in this import export business. And he was like, she said, you did well for yourself. He was like, I see you did your research. She was like, you did too. You found me even though I'm married and everything. And he was like, yeah, Mrs. Tahita. So he was like, Nene Stewart. And she's like, nah, she's gone. And she was like, look, I got to get up out of here. And then he's still telling her, look, I know your life is different now, but I would still like to be in it whatever way I can, And he was like, I want to take you somewhere. And then she was like, I don't think that's a good idea. And he was like, come on, old friends. And she was like, listen, who said we old friends? And then he was like, okay, then what are we, And then she's still like, giving him this little smirk. And she was like, you really knew I was going to call, huh? And then he was like, I was hoping you would, So I don't know, Monet. You're going to have a slow spot. Your kids can't even make you smile, but he making you smile. Very interesting, okay? So then you got this freaking chick that took the video, Zeke, showing them the shit and saying she's waiting to see who's going to be the highest bidder. And Lauren is going in on her about it. She don't like it, but the other chick, I forget her name, she seemed like she down with it and don't really have a problem with it. And they getting on Lauren about how she's in her feelings over Tyreek and he got her on edge. And that part, they ain't lying, because Lauren is a damn mess over Tyreek, okay? And then they ready to smoke weed, and Lauren is all like, oh no, I can't smoke weed, and I'm not doing that. What if they test me? And then it looks like they put something inside of her drawer, so I hope that don't come back to bite her. And then we still got Diana lying. I don't understand why she's lying like this, saying she helped him with Monet. The guy, he owed her, and trying to use that over his head for him to get her this appointment with Davis. And he's like, all right, I got you. And so, of course, this was the part that I mentioned, that Lauren ends up seeing her coming down while she's coming up. And, of course, she's upset about that. And then here he go, oh, I need you to come with me so you can see something. And basically he takes her to, see Yaz. We finally got the appointment to go see her. And, of course, she's feeling special because, she always wanted to meet a family member anyway. So that's kind of like a 2-in-1, where he takes her to let her know that he's in this situation where he's trying to get his sister back. His sister's the most important. She was taken away from him. So now he could use this as an excuse of why he's always being so busy. And at the same time, she gets to meet, a family member and feel important or whatever. So then we get Monet and Mecca in a damn helicopter or plane or whatever, and she talking about, oh, I've never seen nothing like this, and they playing Baby Let's Cruise Away From Here. I was like, all right, now that's my joint. I know that's right. And meanwhile, she enjoying and cruising while Zeke is leaving her a message like, Auntie, I am locked up, okay? I'm in here at the damn precinct. I need your help, okay? 911, come get me. And so, and she's loving it up with Mecca giving him a damn kiss. And so, the cop is just standing there looking at him while he make the call. Meanwhile, the damn social worker gave Tariq and Yaz like 2 minutes together or whatever. Lauren actually makes herself useful for a minute and is like, oh, I need to go use the bathroom. Which right is it? Your right or my right? And the lady goes with her, and Reek hurries up and gives Yaz a phone that he has stuck in a teddy bear and is telling her to, make sure he calls or whatever the case may be. So Lauren did distract the worker for a minute so that he could do that. And in the meantime, she asking, is Lauren his girlfriend? And they all, they don't know how to answer it. And he's saying that she will eventually get to be with him. He don't know if it's going to be with, Tasha there or not as well. And, then like I said, like 2 minutes into it, the lady talking about the visit is up. So then him and Lauren go back. And, of course, she's like, want to give it to him now since he took her to see his little sister. And he's like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, Lord, you don't know what you in for, Tyree, because she was already acting crazy and she hadn't even gotten none at that point. Now that you gave it to her, She really gonna be all up in your ass, okay? So then we get Monet finally coming down out the damn helicopter and hearing Zeke's message. And she's like, oh, God, I got to get the hell up out of here. Mecca's asking, can he help? She's like, nah, I got to do this by myself. And I did like this part, too, because she came up and through there like, yo, where the hell is Zeke? I need him up out of here now, right now, like right now, not yesterday. And so then Tariq finds out about what happened to Zeke and he jumps up. And Lauren is like, oh, yeah, I knew about that. And he's like, you knew about that. Why didn't you tell me? Like, do you know that me being here rides on Zeke and whether he does good or not? Like, I have to look up for him. And she was like, I didn't know nothing about that. Why would it be that? And, oh, God, I figured what was going on with your sister. I'm sorry, what she wouldn't know. And then he's like, I apologizing to her, like, don't worry about it. You didn't know, but I got to go. I got to take care of this, and I will see you later. And he gives her a kiss, and he calls up, Mr. Lawyer Man Math, okay, to get up in there and take care of things with Zeke. And so at this point, like I said, the detective is still going at Zeke. He telling her ain't nobody coming for you. You gotta trust me. You gotta talk to me. You gotta help me. So then Zeke is like, check my PBA card. And for a minute, y'all, I had forgot. So I'm like, yes, Zeke, about damn time. You should have been told him to check that damn PBA card. I forgot that Ramirez's damn name is on it. Okay, so this just made it even worse for Zeke. So now he's asking, wait a minute, how did you get Ramirez's card? How do you know him? And at this point, this is when Monet is coming through this damn police station like a hurricane, saying, where the hell is my nephew? Where do y'all have him? Y'all don't have no business holding him. Y'all gotta let him up out of here now. Why is he still here? And she like, Zeke, Zeke, Zeke. And they, hold on, ma'am. She was like, man, my ass, get the hell up out of my way. Okay. And so he was telling him, like, Ramirez gave him his card because he used to always come to his games, and he was like, if you get into any trouble, show it. He didn't know anything. This is Monet and them fault. He did actually write, but he just did not know that Ramirez's ass is dead. At the same time, Meth Dunn came there and was like, listen, my client. And she was like, hey, we ain't hire nobody. And he was like, listen, I'm Davis McClain and I'm here to help. And he was like, there's a bunch of reporters out front. So I would suggest y'all go through the back and I'm going to go ahead and handle the reporters. So it was a good thing that he was on the scene, okay? And she went through the back or whatever the case may be. He told him to get up out of here. And he was letting the reporters know, like, listen, he came here willingly. He's trying to help with this investigation, And I was cracking up because Monet was telling Officer Kevin Stalker ass, if you don't stay the hell up on my face. I was like, I know that's right. She was shutting all of them down. And then when they, in the car, she pulls over. And she's like, well, what the hell is all this about? What happened? And then he's telling her, like, Professor Reynolds was having, an affair or whatever with Jabari, and they think that she might be connected to his murder. And so she talking about, I told you to stop messing with him. He was like, I did. She was like, well, I guess you did it too late. And then she was like, oh, you gonna get messed up over all these street hoes, whatever the hell she said. And you telling me that this was all about her being with Jabari? And he was like, now your girlfriend has a dead professor in the guy, and you supposed to be getting into the NBA. She was like, you supposed to be getting in the NBA. You can't be messed up with community pussy. So he was like, listen, I didn't know. I did what y'all told me to do. I followed all the rules. You didn't answer. I was calling you. He was like, I gave him Ramirez PBA card. She was like, you did what? And then he was, she like, fuck. He was like, what? He was like, what? What happened? That's what you told me to do. I did what you told me to do. Didn't I do the right thing? He was like, Monet, what the hell is going on? What happened? Is there something wrong with Ramirez? She was like, yeah, he's dead. Now Zeke starts going on, shit. What are y'all doing? You told me you was looking out for my best interest. This is my life. This is my career. If you not telling me what the hell is going on, how the hell I'm supposed to know? What did you get me into? And I was like, yes, Zeke. Yes, baby. I mean, it made me laugh. It was so funny when he went off. But that's what he been needed to do. These people have been using him and depending on him, to run away and to lift up all of them and take care of all of them. And then y'all didn't even have the damn common sense or common courtesy to tell this boy what he needed to say and what was going on. I could understand that you don't want to put everything out there. Some shit is on a need to know basis. That was a need to freaking know. Y'all dropped the ball there, and this boy Zeke could end up going to damn jail because of it. Okay? Then you got Raggedy behind Kane, basically doing what Mecca told him to do with Braden, and Braden is falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. It reminded me of when Kanan was trying to get in between Ghost and Tommy, literally the same exact storyline as far as that goes. And I'm just over it. Like, Brayden, okay, I would think you have more sense than that, but he's so hyped to be out in the damn street and feel like he's special that, that basically was all it took to get him into it. So that's pretty much, that's pretty much that with that. And, of course, Kane is swearing he's doing something and he's like, oh, you could get out of here if you don't want to do whatever and you got to follow your boss. And then, Brayden is wait, and then he goes or whatever, and that's gonna come back to bite him on the behind and definitely cause problems between him and Tyreek. And then you have Monet going in on Kane and all of them about the situation that happened with Zeke, and Zeke and Kane is asking the same question that everybody else asked, why he still had the card, why he didn't know what was going on. And then Diana's like, yo, with him calling like that or whatever the case may be, why didn't you get there sooner, or why didn't she go there? What happened? And he's like, what are you talking about? He was like, Mom wasn't here. She had already been left like not too long after you. It was a few minutes after you. So she's like, what? Then where did she go? So of course now everybody gonna be trying to figure out where she was with. Where Mecca, man. And that's where she was at. And so then we get Kane coming up to Tyreek trying to put the blame on him again, basically punching him. I'm surprised Tyreek ain't fight his ass back. And he's talking about, oh, you and your plan is all messed up. You knew he was effing the professor, that Zeke and Carrie had something going on. And it's like, no, he didn't know. Another thing that somebody didn't know. He was like, I didn't know anything about that. And he was like, I sent the lawyer there as soon as I found out what was going on. And of course, they're going to be fishing or whatever, but he's going to handle it. And he was like, you need to chill. Then he talking about, telling him Zeke dropped the card. And he was like, well, why the hell did he still have the card? Why is he dropping the card? And he was like, because he didn't know he was dead. So again, the thing I complain about with these people all the time, communication is the key. Everybody in this played a part and everybody's communication was off. How you trying to come and blame it all on Tyreek? And usually I can't stand Tyreek. I'm the last one to defend him. But in this case, he was not the issue here, okay? Kane, and if your ass ain't running kill Ramirez, then that wouldn't have even been a problem either. And you said you got the body where nobody could find it, right? Which I doubt that, but he says yeah. So he was like, then we safe. And then Kane gonna tell Tyreek, oh, ain't nobody safe, especially not you. So I hope Tyreek is on his P's and Q's when it comes to this, because obviously this is all on freaking Kane behind, and he will try to throw it on him. And then we have Diane go talk to Saxe and Davis, and they giving her the rundown, and Saxe is acting holier than thou. He irks my nerves with that. And Davis is like, you can't send away somebody that could be a potential client with that we could get money or whatever. And he's so, oh, he's a drug dealer and whatever. And so we also had Brayden hooking up with Kane again, and he's so damn hyped just to see two chicks in the car and, trying to act like he down. I just don't even really like this part, because it's like, come on, you really that eager and that easy to fall for that trap. And then we get him meeting up with Tyreek again, and this is where they have to give this $30,000 in to Boz, and he has to sign these papers or whatever to say that he's going to be like, if he's the supervisor or the head person, and Tyreek is entrusting him to do it. We also got Saxe screwing the lady again. Thank God we didn't have to actually see the sex scene. We see him laying there sweaty. Well, they could have kept that out too. And these two always some kind of way start talking about damn cases right after sex. So he's bringing up the Tawhida case and the fact that the daughter came into the office and all of that. And they're saying how the person that originally went after him, actually was stealing drugs and stealing money, got caught. So right there, that's a way for Tawhida to get out of prison. So we have him actually we have Saxe texting Davis right after that, like, we have a way to let Tawhida out. So I'm like, oh Lord, let me find out the father about to get out of jail, and then it's really gonna be on and popping. Okay, that's what Diana wanted, baby, and I don't know, we gonna see. But like I said, we had Tariq, having Brayden sign that he's this person that he could trust. And he's going to be the one, to have his name, I guess, on the checks and stuff that would be printed out as Tariq income that will help him be able to get Yaz back. So this was a good episode, y'all. I don't know what y'all think. What's going on? Is Tariq be able to trust Brayden? Is Brayden about to get on some funny stuff with Kane? Is Taito about to get out? If he gets out and he takes over, what does that mean for Monet and her plan? And her using the NBA draft with Zeke. Is Zeke even going to still be able to go to this NBA draft at the rate they going? They're going to be shipping him in when they bring Taito out. What is that going to mean for Becca with him trying to run up in there now and take his little place next to Monet? This is getting interesting, y'all. I enjoyed this episode. Put it on in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought. And I'll talk to y'all later. Toodaloo.